Welcome to the Pastor Chira Show. I'm Pastor Chira, and today we launch. We launch into new territory. We launch into new mindset. We launch into new relationship. You ready to launch out? Come on and launch out with me as we go into this conversation. So today we are privileged, and I mean privileged, to have someone on the show who has been giving of herself in her community for a while now. She has been out there. She has been showing herself. She has been giving. She has been giving back. And she has been receiving back because she's giving back. And I am so honored to have her on the show today. Bring in Danielle. Yes! Hey, Danielle! How are you?
Chira, how are you?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thank you.
Yes, I am so excited. Listen, it's been a long time coming. I'm so glad that we are finally getting to sit down and have this conversation because you are a dynamo. You are doing so much. You were honored recently and you received an award within your city. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to let you introduce yourself to the viewing audience. Go.
Hello, and thank you for having me, Pastor Chira. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Danielle Jackson. I'm a mobile librarian and bookstore here in Camden, New Jersey. Most people know me as the Hoodbrarian, and I get asked a lot what that is. So it's spelled Hoodbrarian. Yeah, everyday friendly Hoodbrarian. I be the big sister on the block serving knowledge and looks, cause you know they say if you want to hide something from Negroes, you put it in a book. So I load them in my truck. You at the park, I'm pulling up. Skirt on the little sisters out here playing double dutch. That's right, I interrupt like a shock to your system. I'm always on the hunt for my next literary victim. Get 'em. I hear the whispers, though the sound's magnified. You got something that they need and you can no longer hide. And believe me, I tried. Lord knows that I cried. I ran for years from what it is that I was called to do, you see, because I was built to speak to the Spirit of God in you, and I must admit that it's a gift I tend to shy away from. Always the opposing voice, it seems, in conversation, but I stand 10 toes in the middle of confrontation, and so, here goes. It is always my hope that you step out and break in. Worry not over thoughts of sink or swim. You see the ancestors, them. They sanctified the ground and purified the water, foreseeing the day their sons and daughters would lay their burdens down. Can't you feel the Spirit hovering? A most divine covering down by these cleansing seas. Come and have your heart sprinkled. Let it bring you to your knees, for it is written, when you pass through water, I will be with you. And out of the mouth flows all of the heart's issues. So let us heal in this space and get rid of old scar tissue. Allow the river to wash over those places that have hardened, and you will grow up stronger than a well-watered garden, my darling. Can't you hear freedom calling? No longer can you afford to function with dry bones. Dive into the divine. He'll remove your heart of stone. This poem is for the nomads who are known to roam, or for those babies whose mamas and daddies ain't come home, or for those questions that still go unanswered, like, why me? Or what's the purpose of cancer? I just woke up knowing that we should gather here, because this river gives life and it makes thinking crystal clear. My dear, take a sip. I can hear your spirit screaming, please, take a dip. You know what it says about when we gather to touch and agree. Chains loosed, hearts opened, living beautifully. And I'll say it again that I see us free. And the words on my lips taste like the sweetest honey, because we were all given the one spirit to drink. We're here to make halves whole and create a space to think. So we're going to laugh and cry and shout and sing and show the ancestors we're the ones who house their wildest dreams. Because you see, we be cultivators, imaginators, and demonstrators with deep thoughts. Our hearts and minds collide with space and time. Deep sea dive, then take shape, soaring higher than the birds. And so in this place, we will heal by washing with water through our words. Thank you. Thank you. And that is who I am.
I'm stuck. I don't know what to say.
Pastor Tyra, don't be stuck.
That
Hello, hello.
was, I'm about to cry. That was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You got me speechless. Yes.
Thank
Like,
you. I
oh
appreciate
my
that.
goodness.
So that is who
Where
I
did that
am.
come from? How did
Um,
you?
so you know how they say like
Mm,
your most prized possession is the one, or the most prized gift that you have is the one that you protect the most. So I grew up like dancing and the arts and all having all of this outward expression, but my voice is the one that I would use the least. I don't sing publicly. I don't recite my poetry. Like, yeah, 2020 was when I really started branching out and sharing my poetry with people. My poetry is just everything that God gives to me. It's everything that I feel, everything that I want to convey to other people. And so that's just, it's always been my way of communication, but it's only been for me and God. But I found in 2020, he was just kind of like, no, it's time to push out. You know what I mean? Like, you have something that people need, and they need to hear that. You know what I mean? I couldn't be afraid of the enemy even, anymore, because ultimately I have the victory. So me keeping this gift to myself and holding it in was kind of doing a disservice to God's people. And so I decided to go ahead and share out, and this is what it is.
wow. Wow. Because your voice is powerful. And when you hit that little song, I was like, ah,
Oh,
wait, what? Okay. She got secrets.
thank you,
She
thank
is a
you,
hidden gem. Like, you
thank you.
are amazing. That was
I appreciate that.
amazing. So, what was what was the push? I know you said that, your voice is the gift that you did not portray all the time, because your voice is powerful. I'm going to tell you right now, your voice is
Thank
powerful.
you.
And so what did it in 2020 that said, you know what, God, I surrender and I'm going to do what you tell me to do? What did that?
For me, it was COVID. Once COVID hit, I was in transition from one job to the next. I was at a brand new position. And I was already doing the Hoodbrarian. I was already doing my books and everything like that. But as far as my poetry, I hadn't shared it. And someone reached out to me like, hey, I have something really, really good coming up, but I need someone to kind of activate the art. So I was like, well,
Mm,
I'm up there in age now. I'm 32. I don't really dance anymore. You know what I mean? Because normally I was praise dancing everywhere. So I was like,
right.
I don't really dance anymore. You know what I mean? I do, I write and things like that. So I was like, I can help you in that way. Is stepping out on a limb. Nobody has ever really heard my poetry, but if you're willing to trust me with this, you
Mm,
know what I mean, then I'm willing to go all the way for you. And so I prayed on it, like for like snot and crying, like, Lord, I don't know what you got going on, and I don't know what
right.
you want me to do, but clearly this is something that you have for me to do. Um, and at first I did that same poem, but I sang in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have that original intro. I was singing in the beginning, and I went for it. I just posted it on Facebook as an open invitation to start coming to these writing workshops. And it just kind of took off from there. It took off. And COVID kind of shut down the activation of the art and everything like that. But I found that, God was just like, well, if you stay consistent through what it is that I did give you, you know what I mean? We'll circle back to this whole activating the art thing later on. So I stayed consistent throughout the pandemic. I was online doing all of my programming, everything like that. And the lady emailed me out of nowhere, like, hey, I know I haven't talked to you in a year, but are you still interested in doing these writing workshops and these poetry workshops? And I was like, Lord, like, what's going on? And I was like, you know what?
Right.
Yes. You know what I mean? I asked for it. I prayed for it. I did the work for it. So it was like, just jump out there, just step out there. And it's been awesome ever since.
Girl, I can't. So, the, but
Take
let
a
me tell
breath,
you what you
Pastor
just
China.
said.
Look what's happening. Look what's happening.
So, activate the art. Activate your gift. Right?
Yes.
Then you said, my God, today. Trust me. If you trust me, you said to them, if you trust me. But the thing about it is, you went to God and you were like, God, you trust me? God, you trust me.
Right.
And then after that, you were like, but God said, be consistent. And I trust you to be consistent in this. And I'm going to work out everything else. Can I just tell you, you just preached the whole message. You just preached a whole message. Listen, because he did it. Because you were humble enough and you submitted and you said, you got it. This is your gift, not my gift. This is your gift to use through me because I'm your vessel.
In essence, that's exactly what it is. That is exactly what happened. Because I was like, Lord, what am I going to say to these people? You know what I mean? Because at the time, I wasn't a published poet. And then I even stepped out on faith with that. I was like, all right, Lord, let's see how this poetry thing does. I started small. So I was doing haikus, which are just 3 little line poems. Yep. But, you know, I got a praying grandmother who instills certain things in us. So whatever I do, I give God my first fruits first.
Absolutely.
Like a lot of people know me who know my slogan is, listen, I am both ratchet and righteous, but you're going to get this righteousness first. And then everything else that's after that. Okay. But we're going to give God this righteousness first. Ooh. So my first published little haikus, I did 3 of them, but I did 3 poems that were just a dedication to the Holy Spirit. It was just like, you know, I know you see me, you know what I mean? Like I you know, just different things like that. And I was like, all right, Lord. And it's bad because you don't be like, I'm going to get Jesus out the way real quick. Like, let me make sure he's straight.
Right.
But that in essence was what it was. Like, let me make sure that I'm doing it in decency and in order.
In order.
You know what I mean? Because nothing will come of it because it'll be me that's in the way. So I had to humble myself first, submit myself to God, nervous, shaken, scared, and terrified. And then he just elevated it from there.
But you went and you're doing it. Yes.
But I went and I gave up a lot to be able to do it. You know, you see the way that you think your life is supposed to go. And it doesn't cross your mind as a kid that it's not going to go that way. Like as a youth, you're just like, I'm going to do this by 30. I'm doing this by 25. I'm going to buy a house by this time. And never crosses your mind like, that's not.
Right. That's not.
You got some character building. Like you got some character building that God going to have you going through. Listen, it's not going to be easy. So
and he makes us go through.
No, and listen, it was deep. And then I also had to learn the difference between things that I was self-sabotaging but blaming on the enemy.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes the enemy be like, that I ain't got nothing to do with that. Like, child, you did that on your own. That's
you. That ain't me. That's you.
You did that on your own.
You take that credit.
30 years ago and you ran with it.
Right.
In essence, you know what I mean? So it was a lot of that. It was a lot of facing myself. It was a lot of holding myself accountable. And it was a lot of just stepping out on faith. Like I'm one of those people where I have radical faith. So like I have a fear of being fearful and letting fear keep me stuck. So for me, I push past fear. I'm aggressive with it. Like it's not going to stop me. Whereas most people kind of shrink and kind of acquiesce. I'm one of those people that's like, no, we're going to kick down, drag down, punch down this door. And here we go. Like, let's get it.
Danielle, I'm so excited, but we got to go to a break. Oh my gosh, we got to go to a break. Yes. I got to pay some bills.
Okay.
But
absolutely.
We're going to come right back and we are going to, I don't know what we're going to talk about because you're a publisher, you got the poetry, you got the writing workshop, you got Hoodbrarian. Yeah. So we're going to go to a commercial and we're going to come back and we're going to touch on all of that. Absolutely. We'll be right back.
General Overseer Bishop Archie L. McGinnis II and Full Effect Church's Global Alliance presents 2021 Summer Global Gathering, Thursday, August the 26th through Saturday, August the 28th. Lord, establish the work of our hands. Held at Full Effect Cathedral, located at 635 West Turner Street, Allentown, Pennsylvania. Come and worship with us as we seek the Lord to establish the work of our hands.
We are back, and we are talking to the Hoodbrarian, who we just found out is so much more than the Hoodbrarian. Come on and bring Danielle on back in. Yes.
Hello again.
Hello, yes. So before we went on break, you were telling us about how you have published and you have writing workshops going on, and how you have, we talked about the Hoodbrarian, what you do, and how you go out into the community. So let's start with your writing, so your poems. When did you start writing, and why did you start writing?
So writing has always been an escape for me, both reading and writing, and it always has been. But my poetry started, I want to say my first poetry contest was in like first grade.
Wow.
And I came in like second or third place, but I've always kept it with me. But again, I kept it just close to the chest, kind of close to my heart. So I've never really shared it. When you're growing up, you're trying to be cute, so you send your little friend poems or whatever. So it was kind of that thing.
Right.
But it was never really an all-out poetry share until I decided to go ahead again. And like I was telling you, just step out on faith and have those 3 short poems published. A friend of mine owns a literary magazine called Soul. It's Seon Universal Languages. So she's from here in Camden City, but she has a literary magazine, and she was taking submissions. So I just went ahead and submitted my 3 little haikus. And after I submitted those 3, it was like, all right, Lord, like I can see my name in this. Like I could open a book and see my name in it. How weird, but how awesome. So from there, I just kind of baby stepped it into sharing more. And again, like I was saying before, just kind of pushing out as far as the poetry.
Okay. So did you take your poetry that you've been writing over the years? Because I know you have a whole book of poetry. So you have a whole
with an S. Look, books with an S.
Right. Yes.
So what's funny is, and I know a lot of writers probably feel the same, but for me as a writer, it's never really just a book. Like it's a book, it's napkins, it's loose leaf paper, it is receipts, it's everything. It's everything.
I'm the same way.
It's notes in my phone. You know what I mean? So I kind of jot down things anywhere, writing on anything and everything. Yeah. So it was a lot of stuff I kind of lost throughout the year.
Okay. So where are the workshops? Where do you do your workshops?
So they are at different locations. They put all of the art in empty lots again where people were dumping illegal garbage and trash.
Okay.
So they cleaned up all of the lots. They had some people who came in and just donated these art pieces, these nice huge art structures.
Oh, wow.
But they're at different locations. When I post them, you can register on Eventbrite for free. It's all free workshops, but they give you the location and everything then. But they're all here in Camden City, and it's all within about a 8-mile radius.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not. I want to say you can do a guided, like a driving tour of all of the art in like 15 minutes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you do that. Okay. So now we're gonna get to
Okay.
the Hoodbrarian. So how did you start the Hoodbrarian? Where did that come from? I know you love to read and you love books. And so how did this come to play?
Well, again, books have always been my escape. And so they did budget cuts here in Camden City in 2011, 2010. And a part of the budget cuts were police officers, firefighters, and librarians. They closed a number of our libraries. And so we had, our numbers were in the double digits, and now we only have 2. So they closed all of the libraries. One is actually on Rutgers University campus. So not a lot of people know about that one, or not a lot of people really venture onto that one because a lot of people assume you have to be a student and things like that. And then the other one that we do have, the Ferry Avenue Library, which is awesome. That one was kind of new. So they did leave that one open, but it's all the way, it's in, I want to say, not really the middle of town. It's kind of closer to a different section of town. So not everyone has access to it. Although there is a bus route to it, it's just not enough access. So I saw a need for those library resources and was like, you know what? This is what I want to do. At first, I had an outreach program called Wonderfully Made. So I was doing that out of my church. And then I just saw that it was that area was saturated. Like God was like, all right, we don't need no more outreach program. We need no more girls outreach program.
Right.
Like that. And I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. So I prefer to volunteer my time helping somebody else when I can be doing something else over here. You know what I mean? Why exhaust all of my resources on something that somebody else is already doing? Right. So I was like, all right, Lord, well, what do you want me to do? And a friend of mine wrote a book, and I bought her book. And I was doing a review on her book, and it just kind of clicked. Like, once I was doing the review on her book, and I had posted it and everything, about how I felt about it, the different authors in it, how awesome it was to find a book of women who look like me. I was just like, okay, this might be it. Like, this might be it, Jesus. Because, again, books have always been my escape. Right. So after that, I prayed on it. I thought on it for a couple days, and then I just sent my family a group text like, hey, does anybody have any old books that you guys are willing to donate? And between my mom, my aunts, my grandmother, all of my family members, they gathered, I want to say I started with like 150 books between everybody. And I started off with those donated books, and they were adult books. So those adult books, I in turn, because they were donated, I don't like to sell books for a bunch of money. A lot of my stuff comes from donations. So the adult books I started selling for $1 a piece. And I sat them out on the table, and it was just like books for $1. You know what I mean? And from there, I was able to purchase children's books and get arts and crafts supplies and different things like that. And so it just it snowballed from my family making that first initial donation. So yeah, my family poured into me. And then I was able to pour out onto others, and it's just been going constantly since then.
Wow. So what do your numbers look like now? So how are you?
So now I have like thousands of books. Now my mom is sticking me in her basement with these books. Originally I had a storage unit. And the storage unit flooded twice. So I found myself having to restart my library twice.
Oh.
Right. And so after that, I was just like, all right, Mom, I'm going to need to put these books in your basement. Right. Because what I can't have is all of my products, you know what I mean? All of my supplies and everything flooding, and I'm paying for the storage unit. Yeah. So she was very, accepting of all of that. She was definitely like, well, it's your job to clean up that basement. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have to get it together and figure out what to do with everything. But she was really, really good about it. She's super, super supportive, and so I don't have any complaints. Wow. God is working it out. He's working it out.
Good. Okay, Danielle. Okay, we are out of time, and I just want to continue talking to you because there is so much. You are a wealth, and I heard you. I heard that the library's shut down, and you, the Hoodbrarian, is going to open up another library in the hood.
Oh, thank you.
When you get that building, because that building is coming so that you can open up the library, yes Lord, in the hood. You are going to open up the library because the building is coming. The building is coming. It's going to be donated to you so that you can open up. Yes. Oh, so that you can open up and be the blessing that God is having for you to be.
Amen. I accept it. I receive it. I claim it. Everything in Jesus' name. It's already done.
It's already done. It's already done.
I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna just listen. I'm gonna sit in a position of what do you call
expectation?
It? Expectation. I was gonna say I'm gonna sit in a position of expectation.
Ooh, Jesus. The city's going to give it to you. The city is going to give it to you.
Funny that you say that, Pastor Chira. That is so funny that you say that.
They're
the building that I
you.
want is owned by the city. Look, the building that I want is owned by the city. And it's just sitting there full of books. It's a closed down library. It was our main one, and it's just sitting there. So that I'm going to claim all that. This is for me.
The city going to give it to you.
Okay. We just going to wait on it.
No, you going to go after it.
Ooh.
You got to make the phone call.
Okay.
And tell them, I want that. I thank you
all right.
for being on the show. I appreciate you. Listen, I so into you. I so into you. And we will talk about that after this. But I want you to tell the watching audience how they can get in touch with you.
All right. My email is thehoodbrarian@gmail.com. thehoodbrarian@gmail.com. My Facebook is the same. Everything is spelled the exact same way. The Hoodbrarian on Facebook. And on Instagram, the same thing, the Hoodbrarian. If not, you can always hashtag the Hoodbrarian and I'll pop up directly. You know what I mean? You can type me in Google, anything like that. And you'll get me. I have a website, that's thehoodbrarian.com. You can look us up for any of our programming, any of our story time sessions, our book clubs, all of that. You can find it online.
All right. So, everyone has heard it. You need to reach out to Danielle, the Hoodbrarian, because she's going to come and she's going to bless you with the word. She gonna bless you with spoken word. She gonna bless you with a writing workshop. She gonna bless you with she just gonna bless you because she is an entire blessing. And I pray that you have been blessed by hearing her story, by seeing her, and by receiving everything that she had to share on today. Because we have to activate the art. We have to be consistent, and we have to trust God in what we do, because He is going to take it and He's going to make provision for us in the vision that He has given to us. God bless you. I'm Pastor Chira, and I will see you next week.